It was about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, that I walked into the Rough Trade store on Brick Lane, and I asked the woman behind the counter, "Do you have anything interesting and good that I can take back to Canada?" And the first thing that she handed me was the XX album. And I said, "Are you sure this is good?" And she goes, "Absolutely. Big things happening with this band." I don't think anybody could have maybe figured out exactly how big things were going to turn out for you guys over the last year. It's a hell of a whirlwind, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a complete whirlwind. Um, it doesn't feel like a year. It feels about 4 years, to be honest. Since the album came out, we've done so much. But it's been unbelievable.
Okay, let's just go through some things. Okay, first of all, the album comes out, you lose a member, you end up doing, you have a series of singles, you do a series of remixes for a bunch of different people, you get nominated for the Mercury Prize, and you win it. What else? What am I missing? What else has happened in this last year?
A lot of touring.
Yeah.
This is our third full American tour in a year. We've been to Japan, Australia, Singapore, all of Europe about 4 times. I think a lot of travelling has probably been sort of taken up the most amount of time.
And you're living in that weird sort of touring bubble, so you're living out of suitcases like this. How often do you get to go home?
Well, we got to go home like a couple of times every few months, but this is our last tour, so we get to go home for a long time after this.
Okay, now, obviously you're going to have a rest. Then what?
Well, eventually we're going to make some new music, but we don't have any plans yet.
Let's talk about how some of the XX music has gotten out there. It was rather interesting turning on, I don't know if you saw any of the coverage of the Winter Olympics on NBC, but you turn it on every once in a while and they would use Intro as one of the songs. Did you find that sort of thing helped raise your profile in this part of the world?
I never saw the advert on TV. I think I saw a clip of it. We always take a lot of time and approve everything that our music is put onto, or we definitely try to, just because we don't want to oversaturate ourselves everywhere. But I wasn't aware of. I don't think I knew what AT&T was, especially, and I know it's a massive thing. But it's I didn't realise how big that was going to be.
Well, and not only that, I mean, you've been on shows like Grey's Anatomy, which is like mega huge, and Gossip Girl. I mean, every indie band in the world who wants to be as part of Gossip Girl in the United States, and you guys managed to do that too. So it's worked out extremely well. The All Tomorrow's Parties appearance with Matt Groening. When is that, or has that already been?
Oh, it happened about 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay. And how did that work out? I mean, this is the creator of The Simpsons, picking you specifically to play his show.
It was a festival. It was 2 days long, and he actually picked some really great bands. One of my favourite bands, Coco Rosie, he picked. So it was really amazing to play with them, and Spiritualized, and I was really surprised. I thought it was quite an unusual choice as a curator of music, but then again, I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, the man also invented The Simpsons, so he would be a little bit weird, or at least eclectic, and perhaps, extra educated in his musical tastes. So that's kind of cool, the way it all came together. You've played some of the pretty massive festivals over the last year or two, like Coachella and a few others. Who have you met over the last year that you thought you'd never be able to meet and shared some stages with?
I got to meet Beach House, which was really great. I really love them, and I was quite starstruck, actually. I'm such a fan, so it's great to have met them. I met Brody Dahl from the Distillers.
Isn't she great?
She's brilliant. Yeah, she was like when I was growing up, she was like my favourite. They were my favourite band and everything. So it's definitely surreal to meet these people that you've grown up with, pictures of them on your wall, and then you're just talking to them. It was quite cool to meet Fortet. I know Jamie introduced me to him, and I was saying it was great that they DJ'd together now. It's kind of amazing. I think.
When, who would you say, when you were growing up, who were you listening to?
Loads of different stuff. I guess it was more genre than the artist though. But I was listening to soul music because of my parents, and then I got into hip hop because of the samples that it borrowed from soul music, and that's kind of how I started making beats as well.
Really? I would have. Okay, that's interesting, and that's sort of I guess the foundation of a lot of what you do are in those beats, those minimalist. See, one of the things I really like about your music is the spaces between the notes. It's open and it breathes, and it's really kind of cool without being cluttered. And so they're built. The songs are built from the beats up.
No, the songs are written from lyrics. So Oliver and I write what we sing. We've written individually, and so I would come up with some lyrics, and then I'd send them to Oliver. It's usually over the internet. It's quite a separate process, and then we'd sort of build the song lyrically, and then come together and build a skeleton of it with bass and guitar, and then we would come to rehearse it with Jamie, and he would add in the whole other layer of sort of beats and sort of subsections, and it kind of grows from that way. But I think we've all had our parents have had a big influence on our music taste. And
one of the coolest remixes I've heard in years is the You Got the Love remix for Florence and the Machine. That is so spooky and cool. I remember the first time hearing it thinking, this is brilliant. How did you come to work with her?
Well, we went on tour with her, and then she was releasing that as a single, so she asked me to do it.
And originally, I mean, Jamie does the remixes, all the remixes that have come from him, but he invited Oliver and I in to sing on it, and I felt a bit intimidated because Florence has such an amazing, powerful voice. I thought, this is her remix, I can't sing on it, but Jamie persuaded us, and I think it sounds I'm really pleased with it.
Anybody else that you'd like to remix? Or is it all invitation only?
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of people, but I think I'm going to lay off the remixes for a while and start working on my own stuff.
Well, I know that you didn't get much of a sound check because it was a long day in from Chicago. I appreciate the time, and good luck with the show, and I hope you get some rest when you get home this time.
Thank you.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.